Hi everybody, this is Tom in front of the camera, Carrie is behind the camera, and you are watching Vehicle Visionary. Today we're at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport to look at the 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350. And if you're looking for a luxurious model like this SUV, it's not only luxurious inside and out, it has a smooth ride, and there's a reasonable amount of horsepower available under the hood. There's a few different engine options, including coming midway through the year, roughly, according to Mercedes-Benz, the new GLE 63S, which should be a blast to drive, the AMG model. I can't wait for that. So let's talk a little bit about exactly what you're going to find here. Starting with the front end, you've got the headlights with this double J blade design right here, and the LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and tail lights. And I have the blinker on right here. If you don't know how to use that, I'll show you when we look into the interior later on. Looking over here to the grille, of course, you're going to have that nice large Mercedes-Benz, the iconic Mercedes-Benz logo with the chrome trim right here. And I actually really like that. A lot of the time I've kind of become more of a fan of less chrome on vehicles. With this particular exterior color, I think it's perfect. Accented, of course, by the diamond block grille. The thing I have to say the most here, I don't know how well it will show up in the video, but this emerald green metallic, it looks black from a distance, but when you get a little bit closer in the right light, it is one of the most stunning Mercedes-Benz colors that I have personally seen on one of these vehicles. Let's talk about tire sizes. You have a different size on the front than you do on the rear. Here we've got the 275/45 wrapped around the 21-inch AMG multi-spoke wheel. And as we move our way to the back, you're going to find these 21-inch wheels wrapped around the 315/40. Now, you're going to have that nice large sidewall on the front and the rear. That's going to contribute to good ride quality. That's a good thing. The taller the sidewall, the smoother the ride, because when you have that lower profile, it's not going to absorb as much when you're driving down the road. And you have the turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors right there. These are power folding side view mirrors, so when you hit the button right there, that's going to fold in. But the main thing I think a lot of people are going to want to know, I mentioned there's a couple of different engine options. Let's open the hood and find out which one of those options is underneath this one. Here under the hood of this particular model is going to be the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It makes 255 horsepower and 273 pounds-feet of torque, mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. And what about MPGs? Well, an advantage to that smaller motor and lesser horsepower, 19 miles per gallon city, 27 highway, 22 combined, and according to Mercedes-Benz, per every 100 miles you drive your 2022 GLE 350, you should use 4.5 gallons of gas. And we'll take a quick look at the remote for this model. Now, one thing you might notice that seems to be missing is that there is no remote start. It is available. It's in the Mercedes Me app, so you don't have to worry about that. And what about towing capabilities? I don't think I'm going to see too many people towing with a GLE 350, but if you have the 4MATIC version, you can tow up to 5,950 pounds. Good thing here we have multiple options for opening the rear door, including the hands-free option. Really my favorite, it's the easiest. Let's talk a little bit about what we have back here as far as cargo capacity goes. The minimum with the seats in their upright position, 33.3 cubic feet. And then you can lower these seats down on both sides and maximize cargo capacity to 74.9 cubic feet. And as far as some of the accessories back here, you do have the removable cargo cover. So if you want to take that out, obviously you can. You can tell I'm not very used to using that because I didn't get it in place the first time. But there that is to conceal things away when you need to. Decent amount of floor space here, and underneath the floor, the coveted spare tire, because people don't like tire repair kits. And I can't say that I really blame them for that. And one more thing I'll show you, I'll let Carrie show you from back here, just so you can see, is that you have the pass-through right here. So I can let that down right there. If you have something you just want to put through here, but you've got passengers on each side, that is right there. That's very useful. I'll go ahead and hop on inside here. We'll close this door just so we can give you a good look at what's here. So I will say, at 5'10", You know, I have some space above my head. Sitting in the middle would actually give you the most because of the panoramic sunroof. We'll open the shade up on that and show you that in just a little bit. But I'm really impressed at how much leg space I have. My legs are almost completely stretched out right there. That is very impressive. And you've got the door bins. I'll let Carrie show you the door bin on that side. Enough room for a nice blender bottle full of protein powder, and some beef jerky or protein bars can go in right behind that. We're going to have dual air conditioning vents here on the rear of the console. You don't have any adjustability back here for temperature or fan speed, but the air conditioning vents are there. And then you've got connectivity right here, not only in the form of the USB port, but also with a power outlet right underneath that. Don't get those two confused and try and plug in your USB port in the power outlet. Okay, we've hopped into the main nerve center, the front seat. And we'll start out with the passenger side door to show you what all is there. You're going to see all the controls for adjusting the seats, the the heated and ventilated seat options there. And if you don't like the size of the door bins in the rear, we'll call shotgun if you're a passenger, because you have a lot more room up here. Easily could put a nice large bottle of protein powder right there, another blender bottle, and all kinds of snacks back there. Protein powder, protein bars, maybe even an energy drink kind of stuffed in there as well. And one thing that's interesting here is while you do have the adjustments for the power seats here on the side of the door here, on the door panel, on the side of the seat itself is where you will find lumbar adjustment. So if you want to work with that, well, you can do that very easily right there. And then we'll show you what it looks like here in the glove box. You actually have a pretty large glove box right there. I almost can't reach the bottom from over here in the driver's seat. Quite a bit of space there. Got some wood grain trim. And then I'll have Carrie pan up here and show you, I told you it was here, the panoramic sunroof. We've got the shade drawn back, so we're taking full advantage of that. But I'll tell you what, we're just getting started here with what is available within the interior. We'll have Carrie go ahead and hop on inside here and join me in the front seat. You have two 12.3-inch screens. Obviously, this is a touch screen, and then we take a look at the 12.3-inch screen for the instrument cluster there. There is a lot there. You can go through a lot of information. You can change a lot of things with what I call the mini trackpad here on the steering wheel. We'll just kind of go through and show you a few things that are here. And Carrie is showing you what you can do there. But if you just go back up to the screen there, there is so much here. And then you obviously don't need your instrument cluster to have the speedometer up here because you've got the digital speedometer in the middle, but there is a lot here. And then obviously your steering wheel mounted controls, I already talked a little bit about that with what I call these mini track pads right there. I like that, very easy to use, very easy to configure things however you want. You also have the shifter paddles here. If you want to drive spiritedly, that might make it a little bit more fun to do that in the appropriate mode. And then we'll work our way up here to the infotainment screen itself, another 12.3-inch. And if you're not familiar with this MBUX system, good news. If you're coming out of an older model Mercedes-Benz, you really already saw it, but it's a touch screen. Good news for those of you who have been asking for such things in previous videos with 2020 and older models that we've done here. But obviously you have a lot that you can do here. You've got the vehicle settings you can go through with so much that you can change depending on what you want to do. Also with your lighting, going to be a little bit hard to see here today, unfortunately, because of the fact that the ambient lighting is going to be drowned out a little bit, most likely by the bright sunny day, but we're glad that it is. And you can adjust the brightness depending on what you want. I'm going to go back here and we'll see what we can do with colors. 64 different colors to choose from. We'll go to blue right here. I don't think you can see it very well. Maybe on the door panel right there to Carrie's right, but I guarantee you it looks good. If we can get inside somewhere, we'll definitely try and take a look at that. Okay, so let's go into reverse and take a look at the rear view cameras. And I'll show you an interesting feature here in just a second with that. As you can see, you've got the overhead view and a nice clear view right there. I'm trying not to get into the shot too much with my finger here, but just to show you what all is here. Unfortunately, with that being on that side of the vehicle, we've got multiple cameras all around the vehicle too, by the way. So depending on what you want to see, well, you can make your selection. Even the cameras on those power folding side view mirrors, that we took a look at earlier. But here's something interesting. I'm going to open the driver's side door, and you're going to notice that the camera view goes away. That's because as soon as you open the driver's side door, the vehicle goes into park. Now, you'll only get that on the driver's side door because obviously, well, the passenger is not going to be controlling the functionality, just so you kind of know. And then we'll take a look at the dual zone climate control settings here. Quite a bit there. Obviously, that's pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to figure out. Connectivity right down here, obviously, if you had wireless charging, which this model doesn't, it would be right there. You can see with the bottle test how that fits in there, and you do actually have a little bit of ambient lighting. I don't know if we can see that on Carrie's side as well, but there is some ambient lighting in there also if you want to conceal that away. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. And actually a very nice finish. So let's move on to what we have here. If you're like Monk and you don't want fingerprints on your touch screen up there, well, you can still use the trackpad. You can probably hear the noise that it's making right there. And we're showing you also, I can hit the home button, I can do whatever. We'll keep our focus on the screen because I also want to go through and show you the different driving modes. You can go through individual right there and change the ride quality, the way the steering works, the way the engine works, everything however you want. If you want to drive in sport mode, there you go, comfort mode. And if you're just having a Sunday drive, you want to drive nice and slow, well, there is eco mode. And real quick down here, some one-touch features. For the radio, you can change the volume or you can push that and mute it. You do have active park assist, which is a very nice feature. You can click on that right there and get to the access for your vehicle as far as what's available there, assistance, vehicle lighting, everything we already just saw. Pretty easy to figure out. And if you're wondering to yourself, what is this right behind the trackpad? That is actually for you to put your hand on. Or put your wrist on, really, more than anything else. It just makes things a lot easier as far as operating that trackpad. A little bit of space right there, and bombs away on the bomb bay doors right there. A little more connectivity within the center console, and actually quite a bit of space in there as well. Mercedes-Benz always doing a great job with these vehicles, but I know the number one question potential owners are likely to have, or even those of you who don't own these, who seem to comment the most on these things, is 255 horsepower enough or not? Let's get out on the road and find out. All right, we're gonna hop out on the road for our test drive, and stick around for the test drive because we're gonna do something we've never done before, but stay tuned for what that is. But I must say, I'm impressed. I talked earlier about the smooth ride quality, but even with this being the 4-cylinder, we've got some slower moving traffic here to get around, so I'm gonna just step on the pedal a little bit. I'm easing into it, and wow, I am really impressed with what we're experiencing here. Smooth acceleration and smooth ride quality. Everything obviously comfortable the way you would expect it to be. We just hit a pretty good bump right there, and well, it soaked it up pretty well. So very impressed with the experience so far. Steering wheel comfortable, leather wrapped steering wheel, and obviously very responsive. And even though this isn't the highest end of what's available with the GLE models, I'm still very impressed with everything we've experienced. You definitely are getting what you pay for with ride quality. And the good thing about these Shreveport roads is it's a great place for testing ride quality, shocks and suspension and all that kind of stuff. And I do like the fact that obviously the seats are nice and adjustable. You can adjust everything however you want to make yourself comfortable as driver and passenger here in the front seats. Everything's easy to get to. Now let's see if I can get this to work in case you're new to the Mercedes brand. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
I'm cold.
I'm increasing the temperature on the driver's side to 70 degrees.
That's one of so many different commands you can ask. In fact, you can ask her, what can you ask her? You can say, I won't say it, hey, you know who. What can I ask you? That answer goes on for about 45 seconds to a minute. So it's quite interesting to say the least. That's just one of the great features here. You can change the ambient lighting, you can change the temperature, you can ask for directions and see that through the MBUX system here, or Mercedes-Benz user experience is what that stands for. But we're gonna take a turn real quick here. Everything solid. Handling, even 255 horsepower, the acceleration is pretty impressive. I was maybe a little over quarter throttle, not even a half throttle when we were passing that traffic back there. So what exactly was I talking about when I said we were going to do something we've never done before? I've talked a lot about how it'd be cool to be able to do a test drive and tell you what it's like to ride in the back seat of these vehicles that we feature on our YouTube channel. I don't know why I didn't think about this before, but with Kerry behind the camera, I also decided to put him behind the steering wheel. And special thanks to my friends here at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for being nice enough to say, okay, we can do that. So, what is the ride quality like back here? We're going over some pretty decent sized bumps there, and I'll tell you what, it's still very comfortable back here, but it feels kind of strange, and that's not a bad thing because there is so much space back here. After sitting in the front seat, now I'm sitting here in the back seat, it feels enormous. There is so much space back here. And we did another GLE, it was an AMG 53 a while back. If you have kids and you've got car seats for those kids, they fit great back here. Maybe I'll try and put a little bit of B-roll footage in for you to see. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm really impressed at the riding experience. I'm used to saying driving, at the riding experience here in the back seat of the GLE 350. I don't know what else to tell you. It's very comfortable back here. Whoever's sitting in the back seat is not only going to be comfortable, but they're also going to have just so much space. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Plus, I can just sit back here and relax and enjoy looking out of the panoramic sunroof. That is a first in a video in all the years I've been doing this. So tell me down in the comments what you think about the 2022 GLE 350. If you plan to buy one, what options are you going to get? What engine is going to be under the hood? You're going to wait for that AMG model. Tell me what your plans are. Got to say a special thanks to my friends here at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for loaning us this model for the day. If you want to know more about it, check out the link in the description of the video. And a special thanks to all of you for giving me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.